This is the 2024 Bison Football Preview Show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our second Bison Football Preview Show for 2024. Tonight, we stand just 4 days away from NDSU's season opening game in Colorado. We're going to focus much of our show tonight on the Buffaloes. This game will be unlike any of the previous 13 FBS games the Bison have played, simply because of who's on the other sideline. We'll hear from Deion Sanders in a moment. But for NDSU head coach Tim Polasek, there's a striking similarity to how his former boss got his start in Fargo. Chris Kleiman's first game as head coach of the Bison came against a Big 12 member in Iowa State, a game the Bison won 34-14 in 2014. Now Polasek will make his debut as a head coach under the biggest spotlight imaginable, opening night of the college season on national TV.
These games are going to come down to who plays the cleanest, who can eliminate bad football. That means taking care of the ball. And then I think special teams is going to play a role in this game one way or another, you know.
The fact that NDSU is put in this spotlight, primetime game, first game of the season, your first game as head coach, there's a lot on that.
I can tell you this, like anytime you get to play in a national televised game, you know, Colorado, the bottom line is they had 3 games last year that were the most anticipated, most watched games of college football last year. There's a lot of good energy around Colorado. I appreciate Deion doing his part with that. You know, I mean, he's a guy that, you know, people are attracted to, that they're interested in. They're interested to see how he does. So this is a good stage for us. It's a big stage. It brings national attention to the Missouri Valley Football Conference. It brings national attention to Fargo once again, and that's being led by football. I think that's so critical to a lot of different elements where the football team matters. It's exciting. Our kids get the opportunity to put that chip on their shoulder and say, hey, you know, we are good enough.
When you address the team before you take the field in Boulder, what do you think is going to go through your mind?
What I'm going to tell myself over and over and over again is, hey, deliver a message, help the kids to play great. I know that's not going to be the case. It's going to be with a lot of fire, a lot of energy, real direct. And I want those guys to know that they're following a guy that's laid out a really good fall camp plan. Quite frankly, that Thursday night's going to come down to how well we practice for 25 opportunities and to create enough big moments in practice where it's intense enough that it won't be their first time, even though we know it's going to be. I mean, that's going to be a beautiful setting, great opponent on national TV, and I look forward to trying to help the kids to be the best they can be.
Now, NDSU's FBS history is well known. They take a 9-4 record into the game in Boulder. The Bison's 6-game FBS win streak was snapped 2 years ago in Arizona, a 31-28 loss in a game NDSU still believes to this day that they should have won. This is the last FBS game on the schedule for the Bison until a 2028 game that comes up at Oregon. They're supposed to be played in 2020. There is no program in the country that has received the attention that Colorado has over the last 20 months. Pro Football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders was hired in December 2022 and ever since has brought the spotlight to Boulder with him. He brought his 2 talented sons along with him from Jackson State, along with two-way standout Travis Hunter, who was the #1 recruit in the country that Sanders got to commit to Jackson State. Colorado had 3 of the highest viewed games of the college football season a year ago, but won just 4 of them. Sanders has had a revolving door of players since he took over, with 40 transfers coming in just for this upcoming season. Now, the Deion effect is unlike any in college football these days. Networks are fighting to televise the Buffalo games. There's a reason why ESPN selected this one with NDSU to kick off the 2024 season. I had a chance to go to Big 12 Media Days in Las Vegas in July and ask Sanders what he knows about the Bison. You're opening up with North Dakota State. They're a known FBS killer. Tell me what you know about the Bison.
They're good. They're really darn good. And I'm mad at Rick right now for putting them on the schedule to open up with them. Like, can you give me a layup or something? Like, those guys are wonderful. Their staff has always been amongst the best. Many people have matriculated from that staff to go to higher levels. Those kids play their butts off. They're tough. They don't make many mistakes. They're accustomed to winning. They don't give a darn about being at home or on the road. That does not faze them whatsoever. We just can't wait to see it. I know it's a national television game. I believe it's a Thursday night game. Hopefully not too late. But we can't wait to see them. It's going to be a phenomenal game, phenomenal matchup. But that program is second to none.
Now, this game was signed between the two schools in June of 2016. It'll be the richest payday NDSU has ever received for an FBS game. The Bison will make $700,000 for this matchup. We're just getting started on our Bison preview show. When we come back, Sam Getzinger is joined by former Bison All-American Kyle Emanuel as he breaks down trying to stop the high-powered Colorado offense. We'll be right back.
Right now, it's the Labor Day sale at Home Furniture. Get up to an extra 10% off sale prices, like this counter table and 4 chairs for just $999. Or pay no interest for 3 years during the Labor Day sale, going on now at Home Furniture.
Alcohol and drug-related crashes are 100% preventable. If you decide to drink or use any kind of drug, be sure you have a sober driver. Call for a ride, catch a taxi, or use a rideshare service. Because impairment can be caused by 1 or 2 drinks, or even your prescription. Make the right choice 100% of the time. Always drive sober or find a sober ride.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Get $5,750 total value on this Silverado LT when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP. Visit HeartlandChevyDealer.com today.
Welcome to Birchwood Golf Course on the shores of Prairie Lake and Pelican Rapids. Birchwood is a place with history, hosting golfers in the area since 1930, and it's the only course in the state where you can ride turf bikes, adding a unique twist to your golfing experience. Looking for a date night idea? Birchwood hosts Couples Night on Saturdays after 4 p.m. Just $35 for greens fees, cart, and a drink while you enjoy a relaxing round of golf with views of Prairie Lake. Or bring the family on Sundays after 3 p.m. and buy 1 greens fee, get 1 free. Birchwood Golf Course, located on the shores of Prairie Lake and Pelican Rapids.
I just get to come to work and it's fun. Even when it's hard, it's fun working at Touchmark.
It's really the people that make us so different and wonderful.
We often hear that it's like a North Dakota hug. There's just a difference when you come into our community.
They're very, very attuned to the individual needs and wants of the residents. And that's something that I've been very, very appreciative of with Touchmark.
It's the Labor Day mattress sale at Home Sleep Express. Get up to an extra 10% off sale prices or pay no interest for 3 years on quality mattress brands Luxuria and Thomas Cole Sleep during the Labor Day mattress sale, going on now at Home Sleep Express.
Welcome back to the Bison Football Preview Show. I'm Sam Getzinger. Happy to welcome on Kyle Emanuel, who returns for his 4th season as our color analyst. How you feeling about year number 4? You feeling good?
I'm feeling great, Sam. I'm excited for it. Obviously, to welcome you into the fold as well. A new coach, new season, obviously, with NDSU. A lot of excitement around this team. A lot of excitement around the first game as well, which I know we'll touch on.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in just a second. But last week, we told you about the new faces on the Bison coaching staff, one of them being a former teammate and even a roommate of yours, and Carlton Littlejohn. He's going to be helping out the defensive ends, and that's quite the wealth of knowledge for that defensive line, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, he's been around the block. Obviously, he's had different stints. He's been a defensive coordinator. He understands coverage. And now he gets to go to the defensive line. Fun fact for you, I can almost guarantee you, almost no one knows this. Carlton actually played defensive end at NDSU. Now, it was a brief stint. It was our redshirt year. He moved the same day I moved, actually. He was only there for the spring, but I always give him a hard time. He never played the position. He actually did, but no, he has a wealth of knowledge. I'm excited for him to see what he can do with this group and what he can do moving forward throughout this season.
Well, he's got a strong group to work with, but promising sophomore Kelton McCaslin, he's been dealing with some injuries. What do you expect to see from the defensive ends, and who's going to step up in that role?
Well, I think, first of all, it's obviously disappointing for Kelton. I think this is a guy, you heard about him as a freshman. You saw him flash last year, had his touchdown against Drake a year ago, and this was going to be the year. Is this the year we see him break out? So you feel for him and his progress as a player. there's still a lot of guys there. I think you go through and you count. I think there's still 5 guys that can contribute in that room, starting with Dylan Hendricks, obviously coming back for his senior year, Hunter Zenzen, and LaShaka Rokes. There's others there as well. This is a position that has always, throughout history, or Bison history, always rotated. So there's going to be guys there, but anytime there's an injury, it's always tough.
Well, that injury bug has definitely hit NDSU hard this fall camp. Seasons are on the line for 2 All-Americans, Cole Wisniewski and Hunter Brogio. What do you make of this? Is this a cause for concern for NDSU fans?
Well, I think the tough part is we're talking about all these injuries like it's middle of the season. Yeah. I think anytime you get into August, and this is part of the nature of playing football and having a physical fall camp, right? Like injuries are going to happen, and some of these have been lingering. You think about a guy like Cole Wisniewski, an All-American, and I know it's for the whole season potentially, but you look at that first game, and what Colorado can do through the air, that's a tough one. And then Hunter Brogio, an All-American long snapper, a fullback, a guy that he personifies what a Bison is, I think, in his leadership and maybe not being on the field. Again, 2 tough guys to potentially lose this early on.
Well, that first game is just 4 days away now in Boulder, Colorado. Where does that rank in FBS games that NDSU has played in, and what do you make of the Buffaloes? How do you stop an offense like that?
Where does it rank? That's tough. I was obviously a part of a couple of them, so it's tough to put. I think in terms of hype, though, and what this would look like if they win, I don't want to get caught up in the moment. I think it might be number 1. I mean, where do you start with a team like this? I mean, a completely different offensive line. That was where they struggled the most, was a year ago. When Shedeur was protected and he could scramble around, they did great. But all those guys are gone. They struggled there. New offensive line coach. You go to the running back room, I think they're down a couple guys through the transfer portal, but receiver and quarterback are where they're really going to shine. They brought in some more transfers, of course, at receiver to shore up that room even more. Obviously, Travis Hunter is there. So offensively, that's where you're going to look in their ability to throw the ball. Defensively, they struggled last year. It's going to be the defensive line and the offensive line. Those are the 2 positions that everyone's going to be wanting to kind of answer some questions from a year ago.
Absolutely. That's Kyle Emanuel. You'll be back for Bison Game Day in Colorado. That's coming up on Thursday. But not only are we talking about NDSU's season opener, the national college football experts, they're doing it too. Hear what they have to say when we come back on the Bison Football Preview Show.